I thought, why can't people feel confident like I am and how I wear my identity? I felt cool to be Muslim, and I wanted that to also be instilled in the next generation. There's more challenges, and I think this is why we need to build a foundation of more confident Muslims. I actually am the first female winner of the National Quran competition here on Islam Channel. This was when I was 12 years old. I've kept my faith at the center of everything that I do. So, Assalamu alaikum, I am Nusaiba Mohammad-Timol. I am the founder and CEO of WAW Creative Arts. I'm also a multidisciplinary artist and entrepreneur working across arts, fashion and faith education industries to represent and bring a space for Muslims to be heard and for their self-confidence to be increased. And WAW Creative Arts as an organisation, it is multi-pillared and it is a Muslim creative organisation under which we have our award-winning and world's first Muslim creative arts school where we teach drama, poetry, singing and art, and everything is created in-house. So we are building everything from scratch. It is a blueprint that we are working on. We also have the WAW community, through which we conceptualize and execute family zones and creative zones within large iconic festivals, and to bring a space for Muslim communities, and through which we also have like social enterprises and other community work. And then we have our WAW network, under which we come up with ways to bring a middle ground for Muslim creatives and Muslims to find employment, and when they graduate from, say, for example, university and they don't have a safe space for work, they either come to work with us under WAW Creative Arts or they work with other organisations we facilitate. We also, under WAW Network, have the WAW Factor and many other shows. And then we have WAW live performances, through which we have made history actually, performing, writing and directing the first time a non-Shakespearean play presented at Shakespeare's Globe, and the WAW kids have performed there. I wrote and directed that, so it was a big deal. And we do live performances and we work on theatre shows where we try to bring something new, something fresh, and access for young Muslims to be in spaces where it isn't usually accessible to them or welcome for them. And lastly, we do training and development, and we work with Muslim schools where we try to work on training their teachers and the school in itself to instill and integrate creativity within the classrooms and their curriculum. But also most recently, we've been working with on a more national level, creating educational packs, working with, for the Muslim Heritage Month in Parliament. We've worked with 10 Downing Street creating educational packs. So I think the pivotal moment for me to divert from, fashion and my previous work. So I was actually quite successful in the modest fashion industry. I was consulting, and I got to travel a lot. I was having so much fun, and people think I'm crazy to shift from that to something so challenging like WAW Creative Arts. But the pivotal moment was when I was within those environments and I was working and I was traveling. I noticed that a lot of Muslims, in particular young Muslims, were shying away from identifying as Muslims or being proud to be Muslim, and felt like they had to change themselves to fit in those work environments and social environments. So I thought, why can't people feel confident like I am, and how I wear my identity and my Muslim faith? Why are people shying away from it? And I felt cool to be Muslim, and I wanted that to also be instilled in the next generation. And so in 2019, I just had a moment and I was thinking about legacy, and I was thinking about that. And I think although it's quite early, I'm quite young to think about legacy, but I felt like it was almost, I was drawn to it and I felt a responsibility. And so that's when I launched WAW Creative Arts, and I wanted to have a space where I bring my educational background and network from both the Muslim and the Muslim society and educational background, but also the creative and industry and the wider society. So I think also going back for me, I didn't mention earlier, but I actually am the first female winner of the National Quran competition here on Islam Channel. So back in 2006, when Islam Channel launched the first Qur'an competition and the final was in Excel, I won that, and this was when I was 12 years old. And since then, I felt like I have this, Allah has gifted me with a voice and there's a purpose behind it. And so from a very young age, I've been, bridging that gap between the work that I do or the studies that I do in my regular and wider society, but also I've kept my faith at the center of everything that I do. So it is quite unique, and it's a very unique combination to have. But that was, as I grew older, my pivotal moment was that I want to give back to society. I want to instill that excitement and pride that being Muslim is cool. So I think the work that I do is so important because of that initial moment. Yeah. So for me, I think it's so important to have a creative space and outlet, not just for those who want to have a creative career or become an actor or singer or anything like that, but it is really creativity, I believe, is a universal language, and it is a way to instill self-confidence and pride in your identity, understand ways to really express your thoughts and process. And I think more than ever, now is the time. It's crucial because there's a rise in Islamophobia. Young Muslims are shying away from identifying as Muslims. They are more isolated because of social media, and there's more challenges. And I think this is why we need to build a foundation of more confident Muslims, more Muslims that can take up leadership roles, more Muslims that are, thinking about others around them and not isolated. And I think creativity is that outlet. Creativity enables you to do that. And I think more particularly what we do is we have drama within the school, which is what differentiates us from all the other creative organizations, because drama is something that is a bit uncomfortable for many people. It is outside of the comfort zone, but it is the one key thing that will allow you to become a better speaker, allow you to express yourself, write better, tell your stories. And we need to tell our own stories, because when someone else tells our stories, it's not authentic. So my experience with the judges was incredible. I think for my category, which is the female-led category, business category, something that is, celebrating Khadija radiallahu anha as well. For me, when I walked in the room and I saw 2 female judges, instantly I felt really happy about that, because it just shows how, we are empowering more and more female business owners and more female to take up those spots. And overall, I think it was wonderful for me to be able to present all the hard work and all the work that we've been doing behind the scenes. And I think for myself, I'm always on the go. From one incredible opportunity and incredible initiative that we have, we jump onto the next and the next and the next. So I really don't have the chance to ever sit down and reflect on what's happened. So by having and going through this process and sharing that with the judges, I also got to really enjoy that timeline and the moment. So I thought that was wonderful, yeah. My journey so far, I would say, has been a huge blessing. But of course, anything that is filled with blessing also comes with challenges. You know, we have to be tested to then reap the rewards of it. And as I mentioned, we are creating a blueprint, and it's not just a business, it's a movement, it's transformational, it's sustainable, it's profitable. All of those things take a lot of energy, and you have to break a lot of barriers for that. And some of the initial challenges for me was exactly as you mentioned, how creativity, although historically we were pioneers in that, unfortunately somewhere it has slightly been lost, and our community really focuses on the hard skills rather than the soft skills. And I think focusing solely on that, you really lose the empathetic side to you, the confident side to you, and the side where you can be your true self and be authentically yourself. And for me, the initial, of course, challenge was to say to the community that creativity is needed in your everyday life, because it is going to have a huge impact on how you present yourself and how you carry yourself in every room that you go into. And I am so blessed in the sense that the initial parents that applied and enrolled to the school were people who followed my journey from when I was very young, and they believed in that vision. And it's really difficult to have people believe and trust in your vision when you have nothing tangible, because it's not a product, it's service, and it's for the community. And I had nothing before what I've created through WAW Creative Arts there as an inspiration or out there for me to take things away from. We created everything in-house. So as you can imagine, for the school side of things, when we had the open day, I had nothing to show for it. I just had my idea, my vision, this is what it's going to be, and the journey so far. And people enrolled, and the students that have enrolled with us then are still with us now. And we are term-based, and they've retained with us because it has really had an impact on them as individuals. But not only that, it's contributed to their CV, and it's made a big impact. So one of our students from WAW Creative Arts has a full educational scholarship, and he has been able to go through that process and be able to say, look, I've done X, Y, Z, and I've been at Shakespeare's Globe, and I've done TV shows, and I've done this, but all through something like Islam at the heart of it, something like our faith at the heart of it. No one's had to compromise. And so I've worked really hard, and as I said, initially, although it started off with just the school, we have grown onto 4 other areas of work, and we've become an organization that really pushes through and tries to get us Muslims in spaces that aren't usually accessible to us or welcome to us. And that is challenging. But I feel like for me, through the whole process, I've not had the support I would have loved to have from the community, in the sense that people come forward and say, this is incredible, you're doing so much as a social impact, economic impact, you're doing so much for us. However, people do support it when they see the end results.